Hey everybody, this is another study stream. So this one is Tuscarora, and currently I am making I'm trying to make a lesson here in this language. I'm trying to break this down into small enough pieces so that a person who's going through this can easily make a simple sentence, like to say something like "I saw him," or "I see him," or something like that. And so I've tried to make this as concise as I can, so that when I study it personally, that I won't want to give up. Right? I'm trying to make it like in digestible size pieces, so that I want to do it. And I'm also trying to keep track of like how many of these I make in what order I do it in, because when I was doing this for Tuscarora, when I was doing this for Lenape, I would like mark it up with stuff, but I wasn't like immediately going and like studying the material that I made, so I wasn't able to like go and improve stuff because I was just focused on just producing the next unit rather than trying to like document my learning from start to finish. Which is what I'm trying to do right here and now. So, this is the first lesson I made, and I have put in basically sentences that revolve around the verb to see. And I've put different conjugations in here. This language doesn't really have conjugations per se. This language has more like you tack on prefixes or suffixes that represent those pieces of information. That's more like how this language works, right? So I like to say that this language is like you create every element. Like for example, I see him. This by itself could mean I see him, right? So if you have this word cat club. Cat club. This is essentially a three-part word. So we have here the first person in the objective form. The objective being that there's something that you're going to be seeing. This is essentially like I plus. It's essentially like I plus, and then you have to make it like an objective. The fact that you have an object, right? Yeah, the fact that you have an object in here, plus the fact that it's a human. And that is this right here that you see. This is going to be something to do with the fact that you have a human object as who is going to act on this verb, or who this verb is acting on. Excuse me. And then the ka here is just a see, right? You just do see, and then you have the serial, which means that's like an ongoing thing, like you're seeing him. Something that's going on right now, an ongoing action currently. So kick-up. So this is like three parts. So I know that my program is not very well suited for these words that have these colons in them, because colons are usually used to separate characters from stuff. So that's going to take some special programming to put in for this language. But we're going to be saving everything in here because it's going to become part of the word bank. So this is a dog. Let's see it as a dog. I kind of know this one a little bit. And then in this example here, so you have that same huh sound, huh at the end. That's that same serial, right? So Will sees the dog, like he sees the dog, like at this moment, like at this ongoing moment, he sees the dog. So for all intents and purposes, this can be like a present tense, essentially, is how I understand it and how it functions. So this is just showing you that you can put it in this way. So I see William. And in this example, you already have that. It's already, you've got that. You have kaheka. Kaheka is I see him. The difference between kaheka and raka is that, and if it were me, you would see that you would see k plus the object that you're going to put in. In here, I'm not exactly sure right now why we're not putting this object like the dog there. I'm not 100% sure about that. It could be invisible, like maybe if you're acting on the dog, you don't have to do that. I'm not 100% sure about that. But the fact that seer comes after this is like, that it's the dog that he's seen. What I can say from the example, the grammar is that the ra at the front of this is like a masculine. So if it's a he or a man that's involved in the action, then that will go at the front. I have seen this like in front, like the word for a man, like it's like the masculine prefix plus the word for a human, and then the nominal suffix after that, and that means like a man. It's the same with like a woman. It translates, like for example, this right here. It's like human plus girl. So Thraya. I forgot to correct this here. So like Thraya is a girl, but you put ed in front of that for like a human. That's the same ed that's in here. In this. So this essentially, for all its purposes, he sees it. I need to do some special programming so that the colors will actually come up for this, because this is like messing up. This is a language that I don't typically doesn't use these kind of things. I don't even know if either that, or I could just use like bars over these letters, over those letters, because the author in the book, like she puts like accents, and then we'll put that to like extend it. I think if I just put like a bar over it, that would do, so that I could like get out of this colon problem. And then this next one here is, so this is gonna be it. This is gonna be like a it to me, right? You still have what bounds all of these in common is that these are all regular present tense verbs. Like they're all in the present, essentially the present tense, because of this k means to see, right? This is what's gonna be. It's the same in all of these. So k there, k right here, and even here, k right there. Whenever you have a he and a she, apparently there's like two reflexives that have to go. Like if a he acts on a him, or a her acts on a him, or a he acts on a her, like if she acts on him, like if any third person singular acts on a third person singular, then you get this double reflexive thing, which is pretty cool. I think it makes sense. Like they do see each other. I mean, that is essentially what it is. Like if he sees him, I mean, they are seeing each other, you know. It means a little bit different. It means something a little bit different in English, but it makes perfect sense in Tuscarora. So for this example, we got the same ku, so we don't have to explain this, right? This is the present tense essentially. This is the see, and then this is the k. Okay, so that's the k, the same k, that's in that we have up here for I see him. So I see William, right? You have ketun, right? In this sentence, I was in the first position, and then our human object was in the second position. In this one, I or me, I am the object here in this sentence. So I'm in that second position. I'm not in that first position. If it were me, if it were it sees me, if it were I see it, it would be something. It would be exactly like that. Or if there's like a feminine. I don't think it matters here. I'd have to see. But essentially, if you have like an animal or a flower or some kind of, or an entity, right, that doesn't have gender, then you can use wa, and wa essentially is that animal, that entity sees, that entity me sees, that entity, it, me, see, present tense. That's how it is, right? But it's like it sees me. So this is essentially acting as a subject object verb. Subject object verb, okay? And then the verb has that serial aspect at the end, okay? So this is essentially a subject object verb sentence order, where the verb's going to go at the end. Subject, empty object, verb. Okay, that's what you want to think. That's what you want to think here, right? You want to think about how you get your subject at the front, you get your verb in the middle, you get your you get your aspect at the end. Okay, that's how you create. This is how you create a basic Tuscarora sentence. A basic Tuscarora sentence. The most basic Tuscarora sentence that you can have. Now we can continue on now here. And I need to be saving all this stuff for myself anyway. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and normally wouldn't do this, but these colons are starting to get on my nerves a little bit, so we're gonna do. Let's see if I can get them all at once. There we go. Exactly what I wanted. And I need a keyboard like that. But what I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to look for all A's. And actually, I can't do that right now. I would have to do. Give me a second. I'm going to replace all these real quick. Okay, I had to pause that because that was going to take me too long. Okay, so I have. Okay, so the words are a lot easier to see now, but okay, I was trying to get this to stop, but it's fine. I didn't realize there's a lot of extra stuff in here. Well, I'm gonna do something else here. because you barely ever see O doing that. Okay. And I know there's sometimes I's with accents and A's with accents, but I'm just trying to make these easier to study right now. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now we can start doing this a little bit better now. So I see him. He sees it. I just like my colors on my words. That's part of what helps me to learn these quicker. I know I'm gonna have to program stuff later for this, but it's just easier to do it this way for now. All right, and this is it. Inanimate entity sees me. Okay, and then this example, he, she sees him or her. So if this were exclusively a male, it would definitely be a ra at the front for sure. I can say that because raku is he sees it. So if we have he, she sees him or her, then like I was saying before, this is kind of beyond the scope of what I wanted to do for this lesson, because this is like making it a little bit too complicated for like a first time lesson for me personally. But I've already studied a little tiny bit of Tuscarora. This right here is just beyond my understanding, because there's literally it's a double reflexive. But what I can say is that if you see a U at the front, it's either an entity that doesn't have a gender, or it's a feminine person doing it. So you or yeah is what a lot of those start with. But then you have this. I know that's a reflexive marker because I just saw that earlier today when I was making this lesson, looking for examples. I was looking for like other pronouns that were using C as their verb, so I could like get them all in one place. But you have the k. You've got the k there, so you've got the k plus a serial aspect, or that present tense. So you've got that working. So this is like he or she, basically he, she, or it's basically she sees her, or she sees him. Essentially, this isn't he for the thing, because it would, like I said, it would work a lot differently. And this is an example. Okay, you have Will sees a dog. Will Raka sir. And then in this example you have Ethraye, right? It's a girl. You already know it's a girl working here. So Ethraye, you look at this is a gloss stop like an you not cook. So the girl sees him. So we know that this right here is human plus girl plus nominal suffix. And just to explain just to break down this word real quick, just so you can understand a little bit better, the is a human. Okay. Fry is a girl, or I'm not sure if that's a lady or a woman, but and then the this is one of the nominal suffixes. So you have and then I believe you can also use this gloss stop symbol at the end to mean that. not good. She sees him. But this is not he sees him, because that's raku. Alright. So we got that there. And I could probably change these question marks to glottal stops and actually get it to like treat it right. But anyway. So this is a basic sentence, essentially. So the girl sees him. Ethraye, you not cook. You not cook. You not cook. It's kind of like having it's like you not cook. It's kind of like having an okina in the middle of the sentence. Like if you've ever studied Hawaiian before, you know that the okina is like a glottal stop essentially, or basically any Polynesian language that has that symbol. That's how it's going to work. Okay. All right. So this is what I haven't like really touched up on yet. I haven't even studied that much myself. I just made this. I made a graph. Not a graph. I made a table at the bottom. You can see this table in what is it called? Plain view. Yeah. Should be able to see this table in plain view. It's supposed to be like that special markdown formatting, so you can like see. You can do like special formatting, yeah, this kind of thing, this kind of table right here. So we've got all the prefixes. So that's that human, or that's the object, and then the object form, and then that's the human. So essentially, human object form is he. And then you've got yak. So you've got inclusive, which is like you and me. It is like us but not you. Yeah, it's basically essentially us but not you, or me but not you, but it's still us. You and me, and then this is all of us, all three of us at least, and then this is like two of us excluding you, or me and me excluding y'all, something like that. Then second, singular, dual. But yeah, there's a lot of them. But the masculine does its own thing, and as I was saying, indefinite. So what I really like about this indefinite thing is that it covers like basically it would cover any gender. So I know that I'm not sure like what this specific culture had, like Two-Spirit or something, but I'm assuming this was what you would use for that. And then this is actually cool as well. Yeah. And then it to be. So you've got all these forms. But yeah, these are like the forms that you could put like around the verb. That's how it would come out. And then it uses ka. So ka is where you could just replace the ka with the verb, and then and then you could just fit all that in there. But yeah, I found the subject and all the object forms because in Lenape, when I was studying Lenape basically was my testing ground for how I'm going to study the rest of the rest of like indigenous languages.